Welcome to the Unlike Show, where unlike other sports shows, I actually like sports. Episode number 4. Yup, we're going to talk about the American F1, aka IndyCar. I know technically F1 has races in America, but IndyCar is basically the American F1. So what is it? Basically an open wheel series that has been in existence since a long time ago. It was under different names, but now it's called IndyCar, and this name has stuck, I think, since 2008 if I'm not wrong, and it is amazing. Whatever you like about F1, the fast cars, super cool drivers, the rush of motorsports, IndyCar has all of that. But one big perk that IndyCar has that F1 doesn't: cheap and accessible. Technically that's two perks. IndyCar tickets are so much cheaper, except for the Indy 500, that is kind of still expensive, but any other IndyCar race, super cheap. Also, the drivers, because they aren't as popular as F1 drivers, are the nicest people ever. You just go up to them, talk to them, and a lot of them are former F1 drivers or potentially future F1 drivers, but they don't act like it. That's why I love IndyCar, and IndyCar is really, really great. So I went for an IndyCar race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but it wasn't the Indy 500. It was the race before the Indy 500. It was the Indy GP, or the Soncio Grand Prix, and it's basically the road course area of Indy GP. If you kind of look at the track, this is where the Indy 500 happens, and this is where the Indy road course happens. And the month of May in Indy and motorsports is huge because it obviously ends with the Indy 500, but it starts with this, and I was like, I need to go for it. It's a lot cheaper, not a lot of people come there, and you still get that amazing rush of action. So I go there with a couple of people from my class who love IndyCar. I get there and I'm walking into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a place that I've heard so much about. I mean, I've had people in my life who've considered it a bucket list item to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and here I was, a guy who's been living in Indy for so long and is finally going to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the first time in maybe months of being here. Also because it is snowy in Indy and cold and you just never want to leave the house. But when I went, walking in, and of course the most American thing in the world, a big sign that says the racing capital of the world. I can't deny it, it's been here for a while. I mean, it's also technically one of the only tracks which has like some of the fastest cars in the world. I mean, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is so dangerous that a lot of F1 drivers stay away from it because of how dangerous it is, and I'm talking people like Michael Schumacher.
But you're not challenged by the Indy 500.
That's, first of all, it's a step down from Formula One, and second, it's too dangerous.
Too dangerous.
Yeah.
Like the goats of F1. Even Lando Norris recently spoke about why he wouldn't drive at the Indy 500 or at the Speedway because of how dangerous it is. Is it fair for it to be called the racing capital of the world? I don't know. But I wouldn't say it's unfair. Anyway, so we go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we enter in, and you can just see Pagoda, very popular, iconic in racing. I went and checked out the fan engagement zone, really cool stuff, all the sponsors, some show cars, all these really beautiful pieces of machinery, also merch stores as you can imagine. And oh yeah, they also just have like random drivers which are super popular come and do a 20-minute meet and greet, autograph signing stuff, things you'll never get to see in F1. So the track has looked good, the fan zone has been great. Then we watched the Indy NXT race, kind of like F2 for IndyCar. I didn't know too much about it. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything. I'm just getting into IndyCar this year. So I watched the Indy NXT race, moved on from that. What happened after that? I went to my seats, which was a pretty long walk, but not that long of a walk. Trust me, I've been to a lot of races in my time. I've been to a MotoGP race, met Marc Marquez, the GOAT. I've been to the Austin GP. I've been to like a lot of events where walking was basically just expected from you, but this one didn't have that much of a walking, and I guess it's because it's like, you know, an oval, so it's not like a lot of walking. Walked to my seats, got this really beautiful view, like you can see it. It's amazing. Not a lot of people, you can just see like, and I also like picked a seat which kind of had this really cool turn. Now for some context, starting on pole was Alex Palou. He's basically in the middle of his like Max Verstappen dominance era. He's won the last two IndyCar seasons and he's super dominant on road courses, which is what I had gone to see, and he was starting on pole, so it was very expected that he was gonna win. But this victory wasn't as dominant as he would have liked. I mean, it was dominant and he did win. Spoiler alert, the race was entertaining. At one point in the race, Graham Rahal, who according to a friend of mine was a team that sucked last year, had the lead of the race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in front of a two-time world champion who's already won like 4 out of the last 5 races. Things you can't imagine in F1. That's like basically saying Max Verstappen in the middle of his dominant era was second behind like last year's Kick Sauber. Doesn't even make sense, but that was something that was happening. Another really cool part about IndyCar that's super different to F1 is that all the cars are same, the engines are same, only few modifications can be made here and there. Only few modifications can be made Team Penske So yeah, legally you're only allowed to make like few modifications. So basically the series is very like equal, and the cars that win are either teams that have good strategies or are just great drivers. That's why this series is super competitive. This race was super entertaining. I think there were 2 yellow flags in this race and maybe like 2 or 3 stop race. And the team that I was supporting, that I was there to support, was McLaren. I am actually a Red Bull Racing fan in F1, so for me to like arrow McLaren, it seems a little weird, but I did, and it's because of like Christian Lundgaard and Pato O'Ward. Unfortunately for this race, they started the race like in P8 or something, but here's where it got cool. The amazing driving / strategy by Pato O'Ward and Arrow McLaren had Pato O'Ward at P2, and then there was a yellow flag, which meant that Alex Palou, who had a super big lead, was right next to Pato O'Ward, and there was a moment where it looked like Pato O'Ward, who started at P8, who would win the race. He didn't, but there was hope, and I enjoyed that. And yeah, the race restarted. Alex Palou continued to dominate, and he won the race, and it was amazing. I was standing next to the podium where the celebration was happening, and I just recorded these really cool videos and all of that stuff. They had the celebration. I think there was an anthem. I don't remember it. I think there was an anthem, and right before the champagne, they were getting ready to do the champagne spraying that is basically like a requirement in every motorsports race, and they forgot the champagne. That was so funny. That was not the only funny thing that happened. I even think like they mentioned a term like at the start of the race called Palou problem, and I think the broadcasters loved it so much that they couldn't stop saying it. They kept saying like Palou problem, Palou problem, Palou problem. So they had like this good, I want to say 10 to 15 minutes of like them just standing on the podium not knowing what to do. They eventually got the champagne, celebrated it, and it was really cool. Even though we knew kind of who was going to win, the win wasn't like guaranteed. And yeah, it was a great experience. And after that, not a lot of people, they let us walk on the track on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. When you come for the Indy 500, which I will be going to, there are 350,000 people there. You are like not gonna get this level of access to the speedway and next to like IndyCar in any other time of the year, except for the Indy GP, which I was at. On the track, I walked. I went and kissed the brake portion of it, like a tradition that you have to do at the speedway. I also picked up this. These are like pieces of tire. It's either like Alex Palou's tire. You obviously can't confirm that. The tire of one of the McLaren cars. At least that's the story I'm sticking with. Sue me. What are you going to do? How are you going to prove that? It was the first time for an F1 fan like me watching a different kind of motor series. Not like I watched MotoGP as well, but like a different open wheel series, and loved it. IndyCar is great because it's niche. I know a lot of like series would want to grow, but I feel like the fact that it's so like close knit together makes it amazing. And I loved that series. It was a great race. It got me really excited for the Indy 500, something that I'm going for. What more could you ask for from a racing experience? You got everything. And yeah, thanks for watching. Also, the Unlike show is going to get a little bit of a revamp, and you're going to see that very, very soon. I hope you enjoyed, and bye. See you at the Indy 500. Vroom, vroom, baby. Vroom, vroom.